Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Moxley Bug, and today I'm discussing my poem The Toll and also just what's been going on in my life. There's not a whole lot I can talk about with The Toll. It's a pretty short poem, and even though it's a whole lot of metaphors, I feel like the feelings behind it are pretty straightforward. So just jumping in, I'm an introvert, proudly introverted, and so I need a certain amount of time and space to myself, and I like a certain amount of time and space to myself, and I need it to re-energize and to recenter. I revel in the downtime and the time to myself and the chill time, but I do have a lot of people who I love and who love me, and so we can get together and have really awesome times, and it's great. But every now and then, when I'm having or have had a really awesome day with my friends or my family or just people I really, really love, when I go home or if they're at my house when they leave and suddenly I'm alone, that's like one of the few times I actually get lonely. I think of it as kind of a hangout hangover. I don't know how else to put it. I get really sad and like, oh, I miss everyone as soon as they leave. It's just kind of funny because in general, I love my own company and I love solitude. And the very next day, I could be alone and be so happy about it. It's just something about immediately after the hangout that I just get lonely and miss everyone and just want the hangout to happen forever. So I wrote The Toll in a moment when that happened. I had been hanging out with my friends and then they left and I was just feeling all the feels. So I wrote a poem about it. If you look at how the poem's written, which I post the written poem in the descriptions, I was definitely playing around with form when I wrote it, which was fun to do because I'm still new to poetry, so I don't play a lot in that way. But yeah, so The Toll was me playing around with form and language, and if you track the poem, how it flows and how it's written, it kind of circles back and forth, kind of like a shell. So that was intentional, mostly. It worked out that way, so I was happy about it. That's really all I have to say about The Toll. If you have any questions about it, definitely comment below and let me know what I didn't cover and what you would like answered. I hope you enjoyed the poem. If you have not listened to the poem or read the poem, definitely check it out. I'll put the link because I know this discussion just made absolutely no sense to you because you have no context. So I always put a link to the actual poem in the description below. So moving on to what's going on in my life, I am on a bit of an adventure, as I mentioned, I think in the intro video. I have, throughout this year, kind of at the really end of January, I realized I needed to focus on all my creative endeavors because that's where my passion is, and I need to really give time over to the writing and the creating. And it's been really awesome. A lot of opportunities have opened up. A lot of collaborative projects have opened up. And I'm just growing even in my writing skills. As I mentioned, obviously I've started writing poetry this year. I've also been writing short screenplays, which I never really did before. And it's been really, really awesome. I'm enjoying it. I also felt like in this season I needed to focus on relationships, my relationship with God, and just getting really rooted in that, and then my relationships just in general in my life, really investing in people. And I got involved with this program called Restore Your Heart, which is a kind of focused counseling program. You get in a small group and you go through this workbook. There's 3 different workbook programs. The first one is Processing Pain. But you go through this workbook in a group, and it's just this whole focus counseling project that I went through, and it helped me a whole lot. And in going through it, I did the second round, which is understanding emotions, and going through that made me realize I would really enjoy leading one of these. It's where kind of my heart is, to help people and encourage people in that way. So all that to say, just this week I started kind of co-leading a group, and I will be training more at the beginning of next year to start leading my own group. So that's happening, and I'm very excited about it. And then, like I said, all the writing and just relational growth and all that has been really, really cool to see. And it's bringing a lot of my long-term goals into focus. And they're still long-term goals. I'm still working on them, but I'm actually taking steps to get there. Yeah, it seems closer now. And I'm very excited about that. That said, all the things I'm investing in right now are not things that are immediate money-making opportunities, and not, they don't do anything to take care of my immediate needs, which makes it a little bit scary, but that's part of the adventure. I have been doing some part-time temp jobs here and there. I'm currently at an accounting firm helping them with scanning and admin things, and kind of just bouncing around in that way, which means money is tight, and it makes my living situation just constantly in transition. I am at the point now where it's literally week by week. I don't know where I'm going to be, and I'm bouncing around. Where I am right now, I will be leaving here, I think September 19th. I have to double check my calendar, and then I'll be somewhere else for the 21st or the 22nd. Again, I need to check my dates. And then from then to the 28th, I'll be somewhere else. And after the 28th, I have no idea where I'm going to be. So that's my truth and what I'm living with. It can be scary, and I was feeling very anxious about it probably a month ago, but now I just know everything's going to work out. I know that can sound really foolish, but I'm just confident it's all going to fall into place like it's meant to. I trust that God's going to provide for me. He's made me some big promises, and all of this changing what I'm focusing on and not making money my top priority, and just trusting God with my day-to-day needs. It's all been prompted by God. All this change and all this year has been prompted by God, and this was supposed to be my year of boldness anyway, because I started doing this thing where each year at the beginning of the year I picked my word for the year, and this year I picked boldness. And so I'm doing bold things in ways that when I picked that word I didn't imagine this is what boldness would look like, but that's what it's turned into. So this is me being bold, is not worrying about money and where I'm going to be sleeping, and just trust that that's going to be provided for and taken care of when the time comes and it's needed, and just boldly focusing on the things that are closest to my heart. It's definitely an uncomfortable season to be in. It's definitely taken me so far out of my comfort zone, but it's also a very healing and growing season to be in. I'm learning so much, even personally about myself. I guess the biggest thing is I'm learning that it's okay to need people, and that I can depend on other people, and I can depend on God. That's a big stretch for me, and I know it's very counter-cultural to American values, because it's all being independent and picking yourself up by your bootstraps. Funny thing about that phrase, I learned that when it first came into popularity, it was said sarcastically because it's impossible to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, so it meant you were trying to do something that was never going to work out. Yet we have taken it and made it the value to live by. So we've taken impossible things as American values, which is interesting when you think about it. And so, no, I'm not going to pick myself up by my bootstraps. I'm going to lean on other people and trust that my community will show up for me, and that God is going to put people in my life to help me in this season and to support me in this season. And I know that this season isn't going to be my entire life. This is just where I am right now to build that foundation for all the creative projects and all the relational projects and all the ministry and counseling projects I want to do. So I'm leaning into this very, very scary season. So I know everything I'm sharing can make me sound pretty irresponsible or super irresponsible. I have wrestled with that myself, but I've just gotten so much confirmation that this is exactly what I need to be doing and where I need to be, and yeah, that this is the right path for me right now. If that looks irresponsible and foolish, so be it. I am intentionally not living my life to please other people, or not living my life according to what's expected and what is the norm and what everyone else thinks I should be doing. I'm doing what God's calling me to do, and I'm doing what my heart's telling me I need to invest in, and I'm doing what I'm passionate about, and I'm doing the things that are healing and growing for me. I'm not afraid of looking irresponsible, and I'm not afraid of looking foolish, because these are the things that feed my soul. And if the cost of feeding my soul is people think I'm being foolish and irresponsible, then that's fine. That's just what it's going to be. I'm going to be bold about this. All that to say, though, if you're in Atlanta and listening to this video and want to adopt me for a week or so, I definitely all ears for that opportunity. So reach out to me. I would appreciate it. Wrapping up, I really hope that you do something bold and brave this week. Maybe it's not as extreme as what I'm doing, but just something that stretches you out of your comfort zone and also feeds your soul. And if you are having your own adventure, and if you are stepping out, and or even if you're just thinking about it, comment below. I want to hear what's going on in your life. I want to hear where you are. I want to hear about the fear struggles, because I've struggled with so much fear this year, and I'm realizing that I'm afraid of so many things that I didn't even realize were fears. And so yeah, I get the fear, and I get the anxiety, and I get how hard this is. So no judgment if you've been too scared to act. I understand. So, but I would love to just hear and talk to you about that. So comment below, or send me a direct message if you don't want everyone to see your comment. That's fine too. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to hear more about my crazy adventure and where I'm sleeping next, or what is opening up now, or just how this is progressing. Subscribe so you can keep up with that. Let's be a community of brave people doing brave things. That would be really awesome. And a community of people encouraging each other, even if you feel like this isn't a season for you to be brave, or you feel like you can't take those risks. Still, I would still love to see you involved in a community of people who are bold risk takers, but are also sympathetic and empathetic to the struggle and the seasons. Because obviously I'm in a season of life where I'm single, I don't have children. I can be a bit reckless with my life right now because it doesn't affect anyone else but me. But I understand when you have bigger responsibilities than I do, and people depending on you, it is harder to take risks. So I'm not judging you if you're not in a season where you can take risks, but I would still love to hear even your dreams and your hopes and what you would like to do one day, are just what your life looks like right now. I just love learning more about you because I think you're really great. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll see y'all next week.